Psilocybin is the active psychedelic compound that is found in magic mushrooms. And believe it or not, there are over 200 varieties of these mushrooms out there. Psilocybin alone is biologically inactive, but when we consume it, our bodies quickly turn it into psilocin, and psilocin is what causes those mind-altering effects. Welcome to this video, where we are going to talk a little bit about the history of psilocybin mushrooms and the true intended purpose. They were never intended to be a recreational drug, and we're going to learn about that now. These mushrooms have a lot of history entwined with human culture. Indigenous tribes around the world have been using these sacred substances for centuries, and they often use them in spiritual and healing rituals. In the mid-20th century, psilocybin piqued the interest of Western science and psychology. So the research began in the 1950s and the 1960s. And the research was proving that psilocybin had the potential to help people with their mental health conditions. One of the studies that they did was they gave psilocybin mushrooms to people who were facing end-of-life anxieties. People who were diagnosed with terminal illness and were having a hard time coming to terms and having a lot of anxiety around their diagnosis. These people had a psilocybin experience, and after the experience reported that they no longer feared death. They said that the mushrooms showed them the true meaning of life and death, and this helped to alleviate their anxiety. It was an amazing point in history when they began discovering the wonderful benefits that psilocybin could have on people with different mental health conditions. That was until the 1960s when the counterculture movement started and people started using psychedelics recreationally. That's when things changed. Once people began using psychedelic substances recreationally, the government didn't like it. So they cracked down on it. They said that it was dangerous. They said that it was addictive, and they made it illegal. And when they made it illegal, they shut down any further research from taking place. And because of that, psilocybin got lost in the shadows. I was born in 1970, so I grew up during a time where we were taught to view these substances through the lens of fear. We were told that anything psychedelic, mushrooms, LSD, anything like that, that it would make us go crazy. And we might jump out of windows thinking we could fly. We were told that it might make us go completely crazy to the point where we would never be normal again. So it was scary, and I was afraid of these drugs, as were a lot of people at the time. But I've come to realize that these drugs are nothing to fear. They are medicine. They are a true gift from nature that can help us heal from trauma and all sorts of other mental health conditions. Psilocybin can help us heal, and it doesn't come with all the nasty side effects that pharmaceutical medications come with. It also is easy to stop taking it. If you don't want to take it anymore, you won't have any withdrawal symptoms, not like you would with some of those antidepressants. It's also non-addictive. And as a matter of fact, it has been known to help people who were fighting addiction. There has been people who've reported after doing a larger dose, the trip dose, and they've done it to treat their addiction, that after just one dose, they had no more desire to drink or use whatever substance it was that they were addicted to. So it's pretty exciting that the research has been allowed to continue now. It's just really a shame that for decades it was just lost and not allowed to be researched anymore. But the future is looking very promising for people who are trying to heal from trauma and PTSD and every other mental health condition. So we have that to look forward to. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next video. And in that video, I'm going to talk about some of the myths that surround the use of psilocybin mushrooms. So I can't wait to teach you all about that, and I'll see you in the next video.